I'm Marco Bollinger, and I'm here with iSeeiTravel. We're a media company focusing on the conscious traveler, and I'm here today with Mr. Spencer Spellman, aka the Traveling Philosopher. I always get started with, wanting to know what got you going blogging. It's a hard thing to keep going, quite frankly. I do a bunch of it myself, and so it's always interesting to me to find out what that catalyst was that kind of got you going, and then kept you moving, kept you sharing your world with everybody else out there.
Right. Well, blogging started out by me first being a writer. I worked for a travel guide publisher for a couple years as a writer and then an editor, and knew that where publishing was going was online. And as much as I enjoyed my writing and having it published and being paid for it, I wanted somewhere where I could write just what I wanted, where there wasn't any editorial oversight, and I could write just anything that I wanted. And so that's how it started about 15 months ago, and it's just continued to grow from there.
So the name, The Traveling Philosopher, I mean, great name. When I first saw it, before I saw your picture, I wasn't really sure what I was, going for, what to expect. It could be some long-haired hippie, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wasn't sure. So I gotta ask, where did it come from? What's the whole deal behind it?
Well, first of all, I'm not very good. Like, I consider myself a creative type, but coming up with names and headlines and article titles, that's difficult for me. And so I was talking to a couple different friends, and they're like, "Why don't you just start writing words down of things that you're good at, that you enjoy?" And so I just did that and put these words together, and I was like, I like that. The Traveling Philosopher, it has a ring to it. That's my major in college was in philosophy, and so it just kind of all fit.
All right. So as you know, iSeeiTravel is focused on inspiring people to get out there and engage with communities, and respect everything that goes into that when you're visiting a new place, you're traveling around the world. We really feel that engaging with locals and engaging with the environment and everything that's going on there is a really enriching part of travel. I saw that you recently, obviously wrote an article on sustainable travel, and I thought you raised a lot of really good points. It's not a cut and dry topic. It's something that's evolving right now, and we have a lot of things out there that, are working towards the good. And we have a lot of people out there probably who are, trying to take advantage of a market that's growing. I was really excited to see a little bit of your skepticism, and, questioning a little bit about what are we really doing towards this. When we talk about it, how do you, really stay focused on caring about, preserving this for, everybody else to enjoy, or maybe for yourself to come back. So anyway, I was hoping you could kick down a little bit on what that all means,
Right. Well, yeah, and I traveled last year for about 9 months, mainly in mainly in North America. Spent a lot of time in Central America, and have just noticed then while I was traveling and since that I see a lot of buzz terms with travel and ecotourism, eco-friendly, eco lodges. There's all these different terms that are thrown around, and I wanted to kind of dive into it a little bit and see, are we really doing things that are helping the environment, helping communities, and really contributing to the whole? And I have found that there are some great opportunities going on. I spent a lot of time in Costa Rica on the Pacific coast, and one thing that I saw in some of the towns there were stray dogs. It's a huge problem. With you would go for walks on the beach, and you just see stray dogs everywhere, sure, walking up and down, that didn't have owners, didn't have leashes or anything like that. And one of the things they did there in the town I was staying at was every month they would do a free clinic, and people could bring dogs that they had found on the beach, or their own dogs, and they would often have even travelers who were just traveling through for the week or for the month could be involved and could help with gathering up dogs and helping actually do the clinic. And so I love being able to see that, where it's not just in the community that they're doing it, but they're really getting other people involved as well. And so I think it's important that it's really an effort around the world, that people are getting involved in different ways.
You also were recently at a film screening or a film festival, something like that, where they were showing a bunch of movies from around the world, I believe. And I was wondering, since we're so focused on sharing experience through media, you being a writer and all, if you could, tell me a little bit about your experience in terms of learning about responsible travel, tourism, through film, through media, how it affected you, and if you have, I don't know, anything to share for us, media producers who are out there trying to encourage other people through this new medium, through social media, through the platforms and the outlets that are available. How did it, touch you, affect you, or not?
Right, it definitely did, because I think for me, what I've seen just writing and being in the travel industry is that there's these two ends of the spectrum, where you have travelers who just want to travel and experience the world, but they want to do good while they're going. But then in a lot of ways, to many of them, it seems that you can only do it if you're doing a week-long volunteer trip or 2-week trip or something like that, where your entire time is spent volunteering. But where's that middle ground where somebody can travel but still do the things they want to? If they want to spend time on the beach, drink cocktails, do that, but also volunteer and do good where they're at. And that's what this event did really well, is that it educated and told stories of places in Nicaragua, Guatemala, and other destinations from around the world, where communities are getting involved with doing good there, but they're also bringing in encouraging travelers to come and be a part of it, whether it's a lodge that's doing different environmental initiatives to take care of the environment. And so I think it's important to have that middle ground, where you don't just have to do a week-long volunteer trip, but even while you're traveling and even while you're just going on maybe a family vacation, you can still get involved.
You've traveled a lot of places, obviously. I was kind of somewhat overwhelmed looking at your blog, seeing everywhere you've gone, trying to focus in on something. With regard to the idea of conscious, travel and your own experiences, I was hoping you could give me, top 3 moments, or any 3 moments along the way that, you remember seeing, people trying to make a difference. I think that you just mentioned that it's a lot about, it's not just about volunteer, but keeping it in mind all the time as you travel. And maybe they're really minute things, but things that stood out to you, in some of your trips abroad that made you feel good about, giving back or taking care of something or something along those lines.
Right. Wow. Top 3 moments. I'll have to think about that for a minute. I know. Actually, one of them actually happened right here in my own city of San Francisco on the way here this morning. It was raining this morning, and someone evidently had just gone and gotten some things to eat, and had gotten, I don't know if it was too much food or they were just doing it out of the kindness of their heart, but there was somebody homeless on the street that was just kind of walking, going through the trash can, and they gave him this big bag of food. And so I think that to me was a great example of just seeing how we're all interconnected and we're all a part of the big communities. So that really made a difference for me. But I have to go back again to Central America. I mean, some of I think my most memorable experiences of seeing people doing good have been in Central America, especially being on the Pacific coast and seeing how usually here when you see dogs, for example, you see them with their owners. They're out for walks, but there you just see dogs roaming, just walking around all the time, and they don't have supervision or people that are taking care of them. A lot of them are sick, and so a lot of times I would see people who didn't own the dogs who were just bringing them food or taking them to the free clinic, and so I think that's another way. And then even in some of the larger cities that I've been to, like Dublin is a city where I've seen this, where they really I've seen encouraging citizens, whether people that live there, people that are just traveling to do these initiatives to pick up trash as they're going. And I remember being in Dublin, and just one Saturday they were having this citywide campaign to pick up trash, and it was I was there with a group of 15 college students, and we got involved with it ourselves, and just had bags that were just walking around some of the green space and picking up any trash that we saw. And so I think it's just encouraging things, more so of seeing not just communities that are doing it to involve themselves and involve the people of the community, but the people that are traveling there too, and making it a universal effort.
Do you have any recommendations? I mean, you travel a lot, and I know that being conscious or responsible about the way you do things has kind of always been a part of what you do. Do you have any recommendations or tips for people who want to start getting involved in this, but maybe aren't too aware of it, not super informed? I mean, how do you go about, you're taking a quick trip and you want to start doing some of these, elements of being responsible when you go on your trips, when you visit other places? Anything that has struck you as, here's a simple way of being aware of getting informed, so on and so forth? Right,
absolutely. I think really what it starts out with is going to the source of where you're going, as in that community. A lot of times when we're booking trips, we're using online travel agencies or our own travel agent. We're reading books of people that have visited there and spent an amount of time there, but they're interested in what's to do there, where to eat, things like that. And so it doesn't always include some of those things that are happening on the ground level there in the community. And so I think it's calling the chamber, if they have a chamber of commerce there, or the tourism board, and trying to get in contact with people, or trying to get in contact, if it's a smaller town, get in contact with the mayor. And I think that's who you really have to tap into, are those local resources that know what's going on. They know the people of the town. They know how you can get plugged in. And if you can't do that beforehand, then doing it as you're traveling, I think it can sometimes be easy to go to restaurants and bars and things that are in the touristy parts of town, but going to some of those more local spots and talking to locals and spending an evening at a restaurant with people that are from there, that have grown up there, and saying, hey, we're on vacation, but we really want to do some good and really want to be a part of some good things that are happening here, whether it's giving back to the community or the environment. And I think it really starts with getting involved with the community and finding who some of those community leaders are and who can put you in contact with the right people.
Yeah, I totally agree. Engaging with the local communities. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
This was awesome. Just a little talk. Again, this is iSeeiTravel. We're just trying to bring you conversations with other people out there, trying to encourage people to take travel in a more community engaging way. The idea of conscious travel is, care about the places you go to, want them to remain there as something we can all enjoy, and it's one person at a time. Spencer, I really appreciate you.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.